Tip number 3, attending classes and taking notes, okay? I know it's not fun to have to attend those lectures and taking notes, but first of all, I know a lot of programs have it where attendance is part of your grade. So that's part of it. So you kind of have to attend anyway, otherwise your grade's going to go down. But also, you're going to get so much out of the lectures, okay? So when you go to your lectures, I recommend kind of knowing what you're going to be talking about. A lot of your syllabus is going to give you the information that's going to be discussed during that period of time for each lecture every week. So what I do, and what I highly recommend that you guys do as well, is making sure you're skimming over that information prior to going to your lecture. So whether that's, a chapter or two, whatever you're discussing, skimming over the information just to get an idea of exactly what you guys are going to be talking about. You can actually read through the entire chapter. Maybe it's just reading a box that's like, one of the most important things to get out of this chapter. But basically, reviewing information ahead of time can be very beneficial, because then you might actually come up with a question that you might want to ask the professor in class, right? So if they didn't answer it when they went through their lecture, you can ask them during your lecture time, and that while you have them, right? Because it might be harder after class to get an appointment with them or to have them answer questions. It might take them a little bit to email you back if you have a question. So why not ask it if you have it right before lecture? So I always say that's kind of like a preparedness when you go into lectures, is read it in advance of what it is that you guys are going to be discussing. So if you have questions, you can answer them or, ask them in class. And you also might have a classmate that may have the same question that's a little more timid to ask, honestly. So prepare yourself for lectures. Make sure you guys are taking notes too, okay? Don't just listen, sit there. I promise you, when you go home, if you don't take notes, you're going to have questions later. You're going to be wondering, well, what was it that she said about that again? I don't remember. I didn't write anything down. So make sure you guys are taking notes so you can do it on a physical piece of paper. Again, there's so many apps out there where you can take notes on your iPad or your laptop that you can type everything up. I know in my class, a lot of people typed throughout class all the notes, okay? And the other big thing I highly recommend, and if your professor allows it, is being able to record the lectures. So like whether that's just the audio, like for myself, I did just the audio, and I use an app called Notability. So I actually took notes on Notability, but it also had the feature of being able to record or do an audio of the lecture. But again, if that's something you do, please make sure you have the approval of your professor and able to record them, okay? Because some professors will not allow you to do so. So make sure before you do it that your professor or professors, so make sure if you have multiple professors, you're asking every single one of them, but whichever ones that allow you to, record the lecture. That's actually really helpful. I can't tell you how many times I went home and re-listened to a lecture and was like, oh crap, I forgot about that. Because sometimes they talk fast and it's hard to keep up and type or write and everything else during a lecture. So yeah, if you're able to record. You'll be able to go back to it, re-listen to it, be able to write more notes out. For myself, I always started an outline when I went home on the stuff, and I added to it after every lecture, because that outline was basically my outline to study for the exam, for the final or every exam that we had. That is what I studied from. So do that if you're able to. But it's really important to go to those classes, because I promise you're going to get something out of it, okay?
Hey everyone, if you enjoyed watching that clip and you want to see the full video to it, make sure you guys click the box here. If you enjoy watching these kind of videos and you want to see more videos from the Nurse Kristen YouTube for pre-nursing, nursing student, new grad nurses, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button over here.